On the morning of day 2, we started off by making our saw cuts where any old joints were on the subfloor, and also in the decorative designs desired for this particular job. Here we placed our saw cuts for a border and a diamond pattern on the inside by using a 4-inch hand grinder with a diamond blade. After your cuts are complete, you'll need to wash the surface to remove the residue from the release agent and the dust from cutting. Use warm water and a good degreaser like Simple Green to clean the surface and let it dry. Once the surface is dry, you can either seal the surface to complete the job, or in our case, we decided to apply some patina stains to the surface to really kick it up a notch. When applying patina stains, it's very important that you follow the shown safety procedures before starting to use. Have protective rubber gloves, open containers in a ventilated area, wear safety glasses, keep rags handy. Here are some of the things you want to have on hand before starting your stain job. Foam brushes or white bristle brushes, plastic containers to use as trays, plastic spray bottles and or plastic sprayer, rags, and strapping tape. Keep in mind that the patina stains are an acid-based, semi-transparent stain that is used to antique the surface of your concrete project and give it the unique appearance that is increasingly becoming in demand. Because of it being an acid base, it's extremely important that you take the safety precautions as to not get any on you or any of the surface that you do not want to have stained. Once the stain hits the concrete, it immediately reacts and burns the surface, at which time you'll not be able to remove the color from this area. On this floor, we decided to coat the border using the coffee brown stain. When applying the stain, do not apply like a paint. This will show brush marks on your surface. Work the product in circular positions and evenly throughout. If using a sprayer, make sure to have someone working it evenly with an acid brush behind them, again in circular motions. On the main part of the floor, we first applied a coat of Decatur Buff over the entire surface. Then we applied a coat of English Amber on the selected diamonds using a white bristle brush and let it dry. As this dries, your surface will not look like the final finish, as it will leave a residue on the surface. All patina stains require various times of activation in order to achieve optimal performance and appearance. Because of this, when stains are applied, they again will appear different initially and in the pail than their end result. The overall job will also vary depending on the concrete type and how porous the surface is, so keep this in mind. Follow the guidelines on the label and tech sheets for most common applications, and test areas are also highly recommended. In this case, we waited a day and came back to clean the residue since we didn't want any of the colors bleeding into each other. To neutralize the surface, you'll need a mixture of baking soda and water. Sprinkle the baking soda on the surface and mist with water and lightly scrub. You can also mix the baking soda in a pail with the water, shown here, and mop the surface to neutralize it. Either way will work, and then clean the surface with new, clean water until the residue is completely removed and let it dry. Once the floor has completely dried, we applied a coat of our epoxy primer on the surface and let it sit for a minimum of 4 hours for existing concrete, up to 72 hours for new concrete. Here we waited 24 hours since we were only putting it on an overlay. You then need to first mix each of the Part A and Part B separately. And mix thoroughly. You have to let the sealer sit and sweat for about a half hour before using. Then apply your first coat, then a second coat 6 to 24 hours after applying the first coat. And look at the results. On this showroom floor, we applied the same steps for prepping the surface and applying the mirage as before, but stamped it with the jumbo slate texturing design instead of the jumbo stone this time. Here we also raised the bar on the patina stain system by making more designer cuts and various colors to show the versatility and variations of the stains. When using the stains, there'll be some occasions when you want more of a subtle appearance than the stain will give you by using it straight. In this case, the stain can be cut using our formulation for a cutting agent. This formula is made of a mixture of both water and muriatic acid. The ratio to keep it between depends on how strong the product needs to be to penetrate either your more porous or non-porous surface. We recommend using a ratio of 1 part muriatic acid to 6 parts of water for non-porous and 1 part muriatic acid to 9 parts water for more porous surfaces. The results are gorgeous. The Redo It concrete resurfacing system is an ideal cover-up for old, stained, or exposed concrete surfaces. You can achieve a broom finish, textured roller appearance, smooth, trowel look, or a knockdown texture. Here, we wanted to show a textured surface by rolling the product on and later staining it. For the most part, the steps involved are very similar to the Mirage, with the exception of coverage and that you're not stamping the material. Preparation is extremely important and should be handled in the same fashion as we mentioned before. Redo It also requires 2 coats of primer, with one being applied the day before and one prior to applying the material. The Redo It is a completely different chemistry than the Mirage, so do not interchange the two. First, take a clean 5-gallon pail and measure out 1 gallon of water. Put the water in the pail and add desired colorant if applicable. In our case, we wanted a white base to work with, so we left it as it is. Add your dry powder and mix thoroughly. The product should resemble a pancake batter type consistency, which allows you to roll the product on if desired. Here we rolled a coat on the surface to give it texture, and we were done for the day. On day 2, we came back and cut 1-foot squares into the product and stained the certain areas with onyx black patina stain to shadow the tile appearance. Then we applied another 2 coats of the epoxy sealer to achieve this dramatic surface. By now, I'm sure you can see just some of the possibilities and creativity you can achieve with the Mirage, Redo It, and patina stain systems. These overlayments are perfect for both inside and outside surfaces and to keep you busy the entire year. Thank you for considering Stampcrete for your decorative concrete needs, and we look forward to hearing from you by calling 1-800-233-3298. Here are some additional floors achieved using the aforementioned systems.